Vishwavidyalaya, Sagar, Madhya Pradesh. And he has served as the first dean of the Commerce and Management in the university. He has written 13 books to his credit and contributed more than 40 research papers of different areas of his studies. He possesses academic and administrative experience in addition to his patient academic assignment, and his contribution in the area of marketing and finance is very well recognized by the Board of Studies of the university. He has attended 47 national and international conferences, seminars organized by different apex academic bodies, and he has been honored in social life for being actively engaged in upliftment of less endowed people. Professor Jain has attended more than 10 training programs organized for career development. His contribution in the field of in the form of academic services distinguishes his personality from similar professors in the field. He has a very long list of achievements and various participations in national and international platforms. So I will not go to that much detail, and I want him to come turn on his mic and bless us with his blessing and insightful words. Dr. Jain, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Shashank Prakashi, for introducing in such a nice way. Dr. Vikas Kumar, Dr. Vikas Kumar of Government College, OBRA, Dr. Shailesh Dwivedi ji, Assistant Professor, Guru Ghasidas Vishwavidyalaya, Chhattisgarh, Dr. Pramod Kumar ji, the Principal of the college organizing this event, Professor Pavnesh ji, who is the fellow colleague and an eminent speaker of the day. This is a wonderful idea noted by all of you, and very sincerely selected the time of evening so that people may join comfortably. So I congratulate the organizers for selecting topic and time also. I very sincerely consider the dialogues on this pre-budget aspects. So establishing a dialogue on budget is I consider as tough as it's spelling budget. You know, budget, when you spell, you find a different word incorporated in the spelling. So from where D is added, normally when you look into this, D has a special meaning for me. You may define by your own way, but this D means additional development that is taken care by the government that ultimately leads to the financial deficit or the deficit budget. Professor Mathur Sahab has very rightly and specifically mentioned few of the aspects and the points of view of the politicians, of the businessmen, of the salaried people, and also I heard that the farmers. But so far as this D stands for the development, that is a difficult job for the government to view how the budget should be prepared for the future development. Because always, you know, in the name of Vikas, सरकार विकास चाहती है और विकास के लिए हर बार बजट बनता है, you know, इसके लिए D is very important here. Now, it is when tough thing is converted into the simpler one or the simplest one. You consider this by pronouncing this budget as a budget. Budget means sometimes it sounds at the baja. So this is very simple. So I considered, I chosen this this way, the budget as the expectations of the pupil, expectations of the different segments of the society in the coming budget after 2 days. Very importantly, because you know the scholars The senior academicians are there, Professor Mathur, Professor Parvesh ji, Professor Shashank ji, Senior Vikas ji. You all know well, but there are certain parameters that are to be taken into care always, because what budget does, what does it mean? So, when you talk about the accounting, you talk about the accuracy. So budget needs the accuracy first. Without accuracy, the budget cannot be prepared and cannot be displayed or cannot be published. So for accuracy purpose, government has to work hard. So expanding categories particularly, the budget takes care for the accuracy. This is a tough job. So far as the finance minister is concerned, the entire ministry gets involved in getting the accuracy spending budget. Accuracy of a spending budget. The second one you consider is the enough spending categories. Large number of people, large number of segments of the society, large kind of one corner to the other. They are involved. They are looking their interest into the budget, and if you experience that every time, particularly on the day of the budget, there is a downfall of the certain items, price of the items. There is a volatility in the capital market. So why this happens? This happens because of the expectations from the budget. So the enough spending categories they used to decide. This is very important to we all must know. Then the accurate income projection. Okay. So what you say is, Professor Mathur Sahab has rightly mentioned that this is a budget we normally plan for the expenditure and later on plan for the income. But the projections of income is very important. So far as the finance minister's job is concerned, so far as the budget making people, they get themselves involved. So वो सबसे पहले क्या करेंगे? बजट में कितनी आय होगी इसका भी अनुमान लगाएंगे. अदरवाइज द डेफिसिट पार्ट विल लीड. बहुत सारी बड़ी बड़ी चीजों को देखने के लिए उनको अपना एक पॉकेट बनाना होगा कि हाउ मच इनकम दे कैन जनरेट फ्रॉम द डिफरेंट सोर्सेज like tax and so many other sources are. And the irregular expenses are very important in budget. Last year 2020 and 2021 and this year also 2022. You are looking at this. The government has been burdened by the pandemic because of this vaccination program and other pharmaceutical expenditure burdens and the healthcare expenditures. So these are the irregular. Sometimes suddenly the government has to bear all these kinds of the burdens of the expenditures. So one has to plan. The government has to plan on this particular aspect. This is very important. In line for saving is always considered by the government as an expenditure. This is a very important aspect that can be elaborated in an hour. Because saving is also considered by the government as an expenditure. So this aspect is to be taken care by the government while preparing the budget. Then you consider the tracking for cash purchases this time. Government in 2016 has taken a very strong step of demonetization, and now the government has looked into the cash purchases tracking. That is very important. And the regular reviews and the right mindset is the ultimate idea that government has to put forth for shaping the budget, looking to the interest of the pupil. So, in one way, the government always, it is told when you prepare the budget, it is told that the collection of tax from the pupil without harming is a tough job. Like, you say the honeybee draw nectar from the flowers. That's very, you consider, because this thing is very important for the government. So when you talk about the expectations, there is every corner looking their interest, and they consider that they must be benefited by the step of the government. क्या steps ले रहे हैं सरकार? पहली बात है, I'm considering one by one because the real estate sector, Professor Mathur Sahab has put before us. Real estate sector, why this is important? He told that there are 236 industries connected with this. So this is very important right now because the labor is involved. because the capital investment is involved, because every person they want a dwelling house. So large number of society, people of the society, the different segments of the society, they are getting involved in purchase of the house. So construction has become now an industry. So government has to take care of this, because the larger investment, larger capital investment is attracted in this sector. And roti, kapda or makan. Makan is the third one. It is considered, no. But house is considered as single one important, I think, is everyone is ready to spend or to earn money for his livelihood. Everyone is ready to earn money for the wearing of the clothes. But ultimately, the third one he prefers first, because that is a longer requirement of the life. So people, they go for purchase of house. So this should be considered by the government very specifically, very sincerely. There should be a larger investment, an investment in the point that the capital investment should be given certain benefits, certain relief, certain liberties, without thinking that the builders or the construction industry, they are getting involved on making money only. So this is a very important sector. Gati Shakti scheme that has been started by the government. So Gati Shakti scheme is important but not very popular. This should be popularized by way of publicity, by way of giving the effect to the individuals and the societies. So many things you think is. So then you think of always, there is a vast kind of gap between the rural poor and the poor of the urban areas, and the middle class people and the higher class people. So how this gap can be filled? Never. I think when practically you think this gap can never be filled. But you consider that the lower people, lower income group people, they must be given the minimum requirement of their life scheme for these housing support scheme. So real estate is one of the important sector that must be looked sincerely by the government, and I think government is doing that. But the basic of the real estate will serve the purpose only when the government of India looks into with the liability of an individual to have a house. Without liability, it has, I think, a different meaning, or it may be good for the politician, but it is not good for the economy also. So this is one of the important, bridging of gap is one of the important aspects that can be explained in number of ways, that can have the number of aspects, dimensions to discuss, that will take a longer time to discuss the issue. Then the PVC producers, they want certain reliefs, newspapers, economic times papers, they are everyday writing that the PVC producers, they are asking some relief from the government. So that is an important aspect that the government has to consider. Therefore, the replacement of the wooden furniture, replacement of the iron or the steel furniture is done by the PVC. So if the government considers this particular aspect is very important for the market, for the capital generation or for the revenue generation, this should be considered by the government. The pharma industry, they have a different expectations, because they need much more capital investment for research and development. This is always on floor to see. The boost spending infrastructure is very important. Infrastructure is for the government and not for the government. It is very important for the public to be invested by the government. Government has taken an initiative to spend a larger amount in the infrastructure. ऐसे और भी चीजें हैं जिनको हम एक बड़ा अच्छा एस्पेक्ट जिसको अभी हम कार्गो के सिलसिले में देख रहे हैं, उसको हम कहते हैं वर्ल्ड क्लास शिपिंग लाइन प्रिपेयर करना, जो हमारे एक सिस्टर कंसर्न है वर्ल्ड क्लास जो फ्रेट का जो बना हुआ है, उससे जोड़कर कि वर्ल्ड क्लास शिपिंग लाइन हम तैयार करें, सो दैट वी विल having the connectivity with the other countries through ships. We can move transport our different items. So this is a very important aspect. The aluminium associations also, they are asking for the coal sash in upcoming elimination of coal sash. वो कह रहे हैं कि नहीं इसको coal sash को कम कर दो. So this is their expectation. They have given their justifications to eliminate this sash so that they can develop to a larger to any extent. उस जगह पहुंचे वो कि वो कुछ कमा सके. They can earn and they can create a capital for the public. They can create a capital for the government. They can give kind of input to the economy. एक और इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज है, अभी बहुत सारी चीजें जैसे ईवीज के बारे में बोला. प्रोफेसर माथुर साहब has told about the EVs, electronic vehicles. That is now at the initial stage, and I think the government will take care, and the industries, they are shaking hand with the battery making factories and the machine making factories. So they both will decide that how these can be survived in the market and will replace the expenditure on the energy, fuel energy. So this will come I think sooner or later, within 2-3 years, this will come as a very important aspect. एक बहुत important चीज है कि सरकार को टैक्स रेट को कैसा करना चाहिए. ये बहुत ही बड़ा इशू है जिसको हमें बहुत बारीकी से बजट में समझना है. गवर्नमेंट जो रेट्स दे रही है वो बहुत हायर साइड पर जाते हैं. हम 10 लाख से जैसे ऊपर जाते हैं तो कहते हैं 30% रेट आपको देना है. मैं कई बार इस बात को when I used to visit certain villages, I discussed pupil. Everybody is ready to pay tax. Nobody is denying now because they know the comfort of their life now. It has come by way of number of difficulties faced in the pandemic, and by way of number of difficulties they have faced by the use of the GST. They are paying the GSTs. तो जीएसटी घटाओ, ये करो, ये बहुत जरूरी है क्योंकि उनका जब इनकम होगा और उन पर कम होगा, टैक्स रेट कम होगा, उन पर बर्डन कम होगा, तो वो नेचुरली ज्यादा टैक्स पे करने के लिए तैयार है. बट चार्जिंग ऑफ हैवी टैक्स ऑन ए सर्टेन काइंड ऑफ ए सेगमेंट ऑफ द सोसाइटी, दिस इज मे बी कंसिडर्ड फेयर और अनफेयर. दिस गवर्नमेंट हैज टू टेक केयर ऑफ इट. तो ये बहुत सारी देयर आर नंबर ऑफ हर्डल्स. वी थिंक being a student or a teacher of the economics, we consider that the inflation is one of the important hurdle in this aspect. So budget, so far as the budget projections are concerned, there are number of points we have to consider. Is the GST, Professor Madhu Saab has already categorically told that this should be reduced for a certain period of time. The higher rate of 28% is visible, and particularly in the field of the automobile industry. If you buy a car of rupees 20 lakhs, okay, 28% of tax you are paying. So everyone is sometimes in fear that how much tax he will pay. So इससे इंडस्ट्री जो ऑटोमोबाइल इंडस्ट्री है वो बैठ जा रहा है बहुत ज्यादा. वो आगे बढ़ सकता है if you bring it down to 40. So this is very important so far as the GST is concerned. This should be reduced at least to accelerate the economy for 1 year. This should be reduced half. I propose maybe 60%, but this essentially it should be reduced. If it is reduced, the growth of the economy will be viewed. It will be visible for us. So this is an important aspect. And there are a number of other issues. I think if time permits, can I take a few more issues? There is one survey that I'm taking that is the interest of all of us because we are the employee of the government or the employee of the institutions. So 36% of the people, they expect that the government should increase the limit of ATC. ATC, it is a 1.5 lakhs right now. So the Economic Times, they have conducted a survey. I have gone through that survey. So 36% they are asking that this should be increased. So the investment part, in particular sense, if you go for 5 lakhs, okay, 1.5 to 5 lakhs. So who buys a house and pay rupees 3 lakhs per year, means 25,000 per month, will be deducted from the they will be given an advantage of ATC. So the real estate industry will also develop because everyone they will be getting the benefit under ATC, because only 20,000 rupees are added to it, and nowadays 1.5 lakhs it is only the PF concerns for the pupil of the survey. So the other one is, this should be the rate of interest, the interest earned by interest paid by paid for the purchase of the house. It is I think it is 1.5 lakhs. So this should be enhanced. So if you deduct 5 lakhs, only there will be a benefit of the taxpayer. For if he comes under 20%, it is a benefit of 1 lakh. If he comes under 30%, it's a benefit of 1.5 lakhs. So there should be a limit increased by the Government of India for to the extent of the higher income group pupil. So this should be they considered very important. 29% of the pupil, what they want is, they want 10 lakh slab enhancement of slab rate of tax lesser. Now if you go more than 10 lakh rupees income, you have to pay rupees 30% of tax. So this should be 30% tax should be above 50 lakhs of income, not of 10 lakhs. This is charging very high to an individual, and naturally this is gearing a person to not to spend, not to go market to purchase whatever he wishes or desires to buy. Then 90% pupils, they say the limit of the standard deduction, that is 50,000 nowadays, it should be increased. So this is what the survey said, that 16% wants that there should be free allowance. This is an economic survey, economic time survey. 16% should be tax free. So far as the salaried people are concerned, the entire kind of tax structure and the limit of the tax payment, this should be revised in a rational way. The expectations may be higher, but ultimately they are paying very much amount of tax to the government. They are contributing the high income they have earned to the they are contributing to the government fund. So this should be rationalized so that the market will definitely get an input of the money. So this is what the important aspects of it. The companies, they are looking into different parameters. The politicians, they are looking into different parameters. TDS, TCS is also, the government is focusing to collect TDS, 10%. Why it cannot be reduced to 7.5% or 5%, so that the money they can use it and ultimately will pay on before 31st March. Otherwise, the government has a system to impose certain charges or certain interest additionally. So this should be reduced for the comfortability of the individual payers. So I think there are number of expectations, there are number of hurdles, but when you match the hurdles with the expectations, there is a rationality that we can establish. If the Government of India or the budget makers, the budget projectors, if they set certain principles, if they give us an opportunity to set the different aspects and prepare a budget, we can give an input, and out of that input they can interact. Only the Reserve Bank governor or the finance minister or the experts, those are involved in framing the budget. This is not only sufficient. The different corners of the society,
Things are there, please.
No, just I'm finishing. So
Thank you, sir.
They should be. They should get involved from the corners of the society. Thank you very much. Thank you all, because you have given me sufficient time, and joined a number of people. Professor Mathur sir is there, and here.